Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready to go deep on the future of the MCU. This time, we're diving into the wild world of speculation surrounding Avengers. Secret Wars.
Oh yeah, this is going to be juicy.
Multiverse collapse. Check. Robert Downey Jr. back from the dead as Dr. Doom. Double check.
Triple check if you count the potential for some of our favorite Avengers to bite the dust.
Okay, that's a bit dark, but yeah, we're going to explore it all. We've got some super interesting articles to pull from today. They're all speculating about what might go down based on some whispers from the comic book world, casting rumors, the good stuff.
Yeah, so we're going to be wading deep into what-if territory.
Totally.
Yeah.
But hey, isn't that half the fun? So let's start with what we know, or think we know. The multiverse is in serious trouble, right? Like on the verge of collapse.
Right, and the source material here is pointing to this concept called incursions. Basically, imagine universes smashing into each other.
Okay, so like a cosmic car crash, but with, entire reality.
More or less, yeah. And the scariest part, the aftermath. It could literally wipe out everything we know in the MCU as we know it. Poof, gone.
Whoa, okay. So yeah, not just another bad guy to punch. This is like existential threat level stuff.
Exactly.
Which I guess kind of explains why they're bringing out the big guns.
You talking about Downey Jr.?
Gotta be. The rumors are flying that he's coming back, but not as Iron Man.
Nope. Dr. Doom.
It's like mind-blowing, right?
I know. I mean, think about it. Robert Downey Jr. with that signature swagger,
Yeah.
but as the ultimate baddie.
I'm already trying to picture it. But can you give us a little background on Dr. Doom? I mean, he's not exactly a household name like Thanos.
Right. So Doom, he's a whole other level of villain. We're talking genius level intellect, master of science, and magic.
Hold up, both.
Oh, yeah. Doom doesn't mess around. Plus, he's the ruler of this place called Latveria, and his backstory is, well, it's tragic. Like, really messed up.
Okay. So we're talking about a super powerful, super smart, and potentially like a super sympathetic villain.
It's possible. And the articles, they're playing up this angle of Doom being like a dark reflection of Tony Stark.
Wait, what? Like two sides of the same coin?
Kind of, yeah. Both brilliant, both driven, both shaped by loss. But Stark becomes Iron Man the hero. Doom, well, he takes a different path.
Okay, now I'm really intrigued. What are they saying Doom's motivation might be?
So one article, it throws out this wild idea, God Emperor Doom. Basically, he reshapes reality after the multiverse collapses and rules over everything.
God Emperor Doom. That's a mouthful. And sounds a little power hungry, no.
Well, yeah, but here's the thing. The articles argue that Doom actually believes he's doing the right thing.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah. Like, he's convinced that only HE can save everything.
So it's not just ego. Like, he genuinely thinks he's the only one who can fix things.
Exactly. That's the scary part. He's not some mustache-twirling villain. He's driven by this deep conviction.
Okay, so we've got a multiverse on the verge of collapse, a potential villain who thinks he's the savior.
And don't forget Robert Downey Jr. possibly stepping into the role.
Right. But what about everyone else? Where do the other heroes fit into all of this?
Well, that's where things get really interesting. And kind of heartbreaking. Some of the sources are suggesting that Secret Wars could mean the end for some major characters.
Whoa, hold on. Are we talking like permanent end?
Potentially. The articles specifically name Hawkeye, Thor, and Scarlet Witch.
Seriously? Those are some heavy hitters. Why those three, do you think?
Well, each of them has a story arc that could lead to a pretty epic and maybe even tragic conclusion.
Okay, I'm listening. Break it down.
Let's start with Hawkeye. His whole deal has always been about family and sacrifice. He's already retired once, to focus on his family. What if Secret Wars forces him to make the ultimate sacrifice to protect them?
Oh man, I can see it. Like a final stand against impossible odds, all to save the people he loves. That's classic Hawkeye.
Exactly. And then there's Thor. He's been on this journey of self-discovery for a while now, searching for a purpose beyond being a warrior. What if he finally finds that purpose? But it requires him to give his life in a blaze of glory, like a true warrior's death.
Oh, that would be heavy. But it would definitely fit his character arc. He's always been drawn to those grand, heroic gestures.
Right. And finally, there's Scarlet Witch. She's been through so much trauma and loss, and she's made some questionable choices along the way. What if Secret Wars gives her a chance for redemption, but it comes at the ultimate price?
Man, that would be heartbreaking, but it would also make for some powerful storytelling. Imagine the emotional impact of losing those heroes, especially if it's at the hands of Dr. Doom. It would really solidify him as a villain to be reckoned with.
Absolutely. It would change the entire landscape of the MCU.
Okay, so we've got a multiverse on the brink of collapse, a potential villain who thinks he's the savior, the possibility of some major character deaths. This is getting intense. But I have to ask, what happens after Secret Wars? I mean, where does the MCU go from here?
That's a great question. And that's where the speculation gets even wilder. One of the articles actually suggests that Secret Wars could lead to a full-on reboot of the MCU.
Wait, a reboot? Like starting from scratch?
Not necessarily from scratch, but it would definitely be a major shakeup. The article suggests it could be a way to introduce new characters, like the X-Men and the Fantastic Four, and maybe even streamline the timeline a bit.
That's interesting. So it wouldn't be a complete reset, but it would be a chance to kind of clean the slate and introduce some fresh elements.
Exactly. And it could also be a chance to explore some new themes and ideas, maybe even delve into more mature territory. Think about it. A reboot could open up a whole new world of possibilities for the MCU.
Okay, so we've got multiverse collapse, Doctor Doom, potential character deaths, Andy, a reboot. My head is spinning.
It's a lot to take in, that's for sure. But that's what makes it so exciting, right? The possibilities are endless, the stakes are higher than ever, and we're all along for the ride. What do you think? Are you ready for what comes next?
Honestly, I'm not sure I am, but I can't wait to find out. Okay, but can we talk about the actual making of this thing? Secret Wars, I mean. We're talking about a planet made of smashed up universes. How do they even film that?
It's wild, right? And one of the articles, it actually gets into the behind-the-scenes challenges. They're saying the visual effects alone would be mind-blowing.
Yeah, Endgame was pretty epic, but this is like next level.
Oh yeah, way beyond. I mean, just picturing those incursions, universes colliding and merging, it's crazy.
And it's not just about the visuals, right? They have to make it feel real emotionally. We're talking about potential character deaths here.
Absolutely. It can't just be explosions and spaceships. We need to feel what these characters are going through, the sacrifices, the losses.
Right, and the articles are speculating about who might not make it out alive.
Yeah, they're saying Hawkeye, Thor, Scarlet Witch. It's heavy stuff.
So how do you even capture that kind of intensity on screen?
Well, a lot depends on the director, right? They need someone who can handle both the epic scale and the emotional heart of the story.
Oh yeah, for sure. The article mentions a few names, like the Russo brothers, even Sam Raimi.
Ooh, Raimi would be interesting. That horror background could add a whole other layer to Secret Wars.
Yeah, imagine those jump scares, but with like interdimensional beings.
And don't even get me started on the music. They're going to need an epic score for this one.
Right, like something that captures the vastness of the multiverse and the emotional weight of it all.
The article even mentions how tough it'll be to use those classic hero themes we all love while still creating something new.
Okay, and the costumes, Doctor Doom's armor, they gotta nail that.
Seriously. The article talks about the pressure on the costume department to make it both comic accurate and visually stunning.
And not just Doom, but potentially hundreds of characters from across the multiverse.
The logistics of it all, just thinking about it, makes my head spin.
Scheduling, contracts, keeping everything secret, it's mind-boggling.
The article says just preventing spoilers will be a full-time job.
But hey, if any studio can handle this, it's Marvel. They've been building to this for years.
It's true. They basically invented the whole cinematic universe thing.
And Secret Wars feels like the culmination of it all, the ultimate showdown.
The ultimate crossover event.
It's exciting and terrifying all at the same time, and it makes you appreciate all the work that goes into making these movies, you know?
Absolutely. We usually focus on the actors and the characters, but there's a whole army of talented people behind the scenes.
Writers, directors, visual effects artists, costume designers, composers. It takes a village.
A very talented, very dedicated village.
And in the end, it's not just about the spectacle, right? Secret Wars has the potential to be something really special.
Oh yeah, it could explore some big ideas. The multiverse, the nature of reality, what we're willing to fight for.
Choices, sacrifices, the whole shebang.
It could be a story that really makes you think about yourself and your place in the universe.
So, okay, we've got multiverse collapse, Doctor Doom, possible character deaths, and maybe even a reboot. But what does it all mean for the future of the MCU?
That's the big question, isn't it? Secret Wars could change everything we thought we knew about this world.
It's like, are we even ready for what comes next?
That's what we're here to figure out.
You know, we've thrown a lot of information at everyone today.
Yeah, we have. It's a lot to digest.
But I want to step back for a second and like bring it back to the listener. Why should anyone care about Secret Wars? What makes this more than just another superhero movie?
Well, on one level, it's just pure spectacle,
Yes.
right? Universes colliding,
Yeah.
epic battles, the fate of reality hanging in the balance. It's exciting stuff.
Yeah, the action is definitely going to be off the charts.
But I think there's also a deeper layer here, something that resonates on a more personal level. These characters we've come to know and love, they're facing challenges that could literally erase them from existence.
It's like the stakes have never been higher.
Right. And the source material, it really digs into that. The idea of loss on a cosmic scale, not just a planet or a city, but entire realities, timelines, everything.
And knowing these characters could be facing their final battles, it adds a whole other level of intensity.
Definitely. It makes you think, what would you fight for if everything you knew was about to disappear?
That's a heavy question.
It is. But I think that's what makes superhero stories so powerful. They tap into these fundamental human questions, our hopes and fears, our desire to believe that even in the face of impossible odds, there's still something worth fighting for.
And in Secret Wars, that something might be the very survival of the multiverse. But we keep coming back to Dr. Doom, this guy who thinks he's the only one who can save everything.
Right. Even if it means becoming a tyrant.
So if Doom succeeds, what does that say about good and evil? I mean, can you even be a hero in a world ruled by a dictator, even one who thinks he's doing the right thing?
That's the real mind bender here, isn't it? The source material really grapples with that. Morality isn't always black and white.
Yeah, it's like, do the ends justify the means? Where do you draw the line?
Exactly. And when you're dealing with someone as brilliant and ruthless as Dr. Doom, those lines get really blurry.
Does power always corrupt, even with good intentions?
That's a question we all have to wrestle with, I think, especially in the context of Secret Wars.
Whoa, okay. So we've got the potential collapse of the multiverse, the rise of Dr. Doom, possible character deaths, a reboot. But what does it all mean? What's the takeaway for the average viewer?
Well, for me, it's about expanding our perspective, challenging our assumptions, maybe even coming away with more questions than answers.
I like that. It's not just about the explosions and the superpowers. It's about making us think.
Exactly. And honestly, isn't that what makes life interesting? The pursuit of knowledge, the exploration of the unknown.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So to sum it all up, the MCU is on the verge of something massive with Secret Wars. We've got a multiverse on the brink of collapse, the complex and potentially terrifying villain in Doctor Doom, and the possibility of a reboot that could change everything. But hey, that's what makes it so exciting, right? The possibilities are endless, and we get to be a part of this unfolding story. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the future of the MCU. Keep those theories coming, and we'll see you next time for another mind-blowing topic.